Okay, it's Connie Brothers. I'm Councillor for Revelstoke, and I'm going to speak today on the highway development. It's a hot topic and it's a little controversial, but what I'm going to try and do is stay away from the controversy and really deal with facts more than anything else. First thing I'd like to say is that Council has an ethical duty to make sure that when they come to the council table they have an open mind and that they sit and listen to the things that they have to listen to in order to make a decision. So with respect to this issue, I want to say right off the bat that all councillors are coming to the table with an open mind. We haven't made a decision, and really what we're going through right now is a fact-finding mission so that we can make the right decision for the community. The other thing is everybody on council wants to see growth and development. There's no doubt about that. It's good for the community, but what we have to make sure is that the growth is the good, proper growth for the community. And that's what we as a council have to make sure of when we make any decisions. It's great to see development. It's great that Hall Pacific has come in here and said to us, listen, we'd like to develop something. And so what we have to do as a council is make sure that we dialogue with Hall Pacific and so it ends up being a win-win situation. Good thing for them, but also a good thing for this community. The good things about this development is the developer has said he wants to spend $20 million in the community. That's fantastic. The good thing is that that will also translate into good tax revenue. And that's going to enhance our community. And if it goes ahead, we'd make sure, both the developer and council, that it was an attractive development and it would be an enhancement when you come into the entranceway to the city. So those are the good things. But a development like this is a huge development for this community, and it raises a lot of issues for a small community. Revelstoke, we're unique. And one of the things we're unique is that we've been isolated for so long that we haven't been faced with this particular decision. Other communities for the past 25 to 30 years have experienced commercial developments on their fringes and what it's done to their community. What we should do is look at what's happened over those last 25 to 30 years, learn from those experiences. And we have the luxury of doing that, and we should take up that opportunity. Now, some of the issues that are already being raised, and I just want to talk about, there's a few of them that we have to look into. One of the things, the major issues, is highway traffic. We know at that intersection there's huge congestion, and that's one of the issues that we have in Revelstoke, is that people don't come into Revelstoke because of that traffic congestion. We're already starting to work on that, but if we have a development in that area, we should look at it from a global perspective and not piecemeal. In other words, we should find out what that development will cause in terms of extra congestion and extra traffic, and make sure that we globally look at how we solve that problem. Second issue that's coming up is a labor issue. There was this year a labor report done in Revelstoke, and there's no doubt that we have a little bit of a labor crisis in Revelstoke, in the sense that businesses can't find employees to work in their businesses. It's a big problem. You can't run a business if you can't find people to work in the business. If we get a development like this, it's obvious that that will put extra stress on our labor force, and we're going to have to find a way of how we make that work. With that, coupled with that, is the housing problem. If we want to bring more people in to work on in our businesses or in that development, we've got to find a place where we can have affordable housing for these people. So that's an indirect problem or issue that we have that we really have to address before we jump into something. The most sensitive and controversial issue is the potential impact that it has on our downtown core. There's 25 years of research which says, in all likelihood, when you have a commercial development on the fringe of a small community, it will impact the downtown core and the downtown businesses. And how much of the impact it is, it depends on the circumstances, and we haven't explored that very much yet. research as well will tell you it's not just a financial impact to the businesses. That's just part of it. It's also an impact on the social capital of our town. And I just want to read one thing. I've been reading some reports, and I want to read one report from you that talks about that social capital and what it's all about. It says, downtowns serve in both small and large communities as the places where people interact, meet informally, and gather together for social and recreational events. Their design provides a space for interaction and relationship. Towns invest in the architecture of their downtown, and the center becomes a place of pride. I don't think there's any doubt that that's the way we as Revelstokians view our downtown. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we preserve that and we keep that, because it is so important, not only to us as residents of the community, but also to people who come into this community and love us for our downtown. So we have to do our homework in this regard. The development might be just the right thing for us. Absolutely. As with all other councillors, as I said before, have not made up our minds, and we need to hear all of this information. This might be the right development, but we've got to do our homework, and we've got to make sure that we are doing the right thing. The only other thing I wanted to say is that, you know, it raises a lot of controversy and a lot of dissension in this community, and I hope that going forward we can have a really respectful and informed dialogue about all of this. Our community is too important to us to have it be broken as a result of this, so I think this is an opportunity for us to all gather together and have a respectful and informed dialogue, as I said. So hopefully that's where we go from here. Thanks very much.